Hello, and welcome to another episode of CTO Coffee Hour. I'm your host, Matt Lee, and with me, as always, is Dominic DeMarco. Hi, Dom. How's it going?
Ha- Happy Tuesday. I'm having wine in my coffee cup this evening.
I, we picked a bad name for this podcast, being as I don't
I have
drink
coffee
coffee.
sometimes. I have some remnants of coffee over here on the other side.
Oh, well, where you are, it is late in the evening. Where I am, it's 1 p.m.
Indeed,
Um,
indeed.
so today we're here to talk about MCP apps. Okay, so catch up. I mean, if you probably heard about AI stuff and the way AIs make tool calls a lot of times or call out and provision resources or act on your behalf or get information is typically with a tool call or via model context protocol. And so that's old news. None of that's really new. But the new thing that they've got is that the only way it could interact before was basically by sending a bunch of text back and forth.
Mm.
And your AI model would then have to decide how to render that. Did it want to, print it out? Did it want to make an image with it? Did it, however it wanted to do that behavior on your end to display for you. So that took a lot of power out of the hands of the people that were serving up this information. Say it
Mm.
connects to Canva. Canva couldn't choose how it would respond, how the AI model would respond with the data it sent to the AI model. Well, now this takes some of that power back and lets the people that are creating the tool decide how the user interface will render. The model will choose whether or not to render it, but they can basically say, hey, in a little, we call it an iframe, as a little box in the screen, this little bit of code from whatever tool I'm calling will be able to render. So in the case of Canva, you could have some little image editing tool. If it was, say, a weather storm, you could have like a little window. It's similar to how you embed YouTube videos, right? Just copy and paste a little bit of code and it shows up on your website and you got all the controls. You don't have a lot of control over what happens inside of it. It just plays the video and ads if they want it to
Mm.
or whatever. So an interesting dynamic.
I mean, is this, first of all, I've got one of your favorite things of all time here, and here's a swim lane diagram of how this stuff is actually working. Um, this is just kind of a natural evolution, isn't it? The fact that before it was just sending text back, now it's sending, dare I say, we've come full circle. Now it's sending HTML back.
Yes. I mean, yeah, we've come full circle. I mean, it makes a lot of sense. Embedding became popularized with tools like YouTube.
Mm.
And then for a while they had kind of we were looking at it, it's like, okay, well, your AI model is going to be able to do all your reading and render it however it wants. Well, then they
Mm.
kind of said, well, no, let's let the people creating the data that's serving up to the model, let's give them a little more control so they could, keep their logo in it, which is nice. I think it's
So
going to be.
now hasn't, I mean, in a lot of ways, just an MCP turned into a mini web browsing experience then at this point, except there's AI on the other end, which makes it little if different than anything else that's already going on. Or am I
Yeah,
missing some subtlety here?
no, you're kind of spot on. Basically, you've got more options now than ever as to how you want to browse the web. So your AI agent buddy can go out and do various behaviors on your behalf, and then, but just like kind of taking a step back or full circle, as you said. Now the people that are serving up the data, the tool call, now have control over how you display it. And that's good because the AI isn't really to a point where it's smart enough to display all the data.
Mhm.
You might have to have it jump through some hoops. This could just be like, here's the widget. Also, here's our logo. So here's a really good thing. So, a lot of times people are like, well, it's crawling my website and it's just going to summarize all the data I've got on my website and I won't ever get attribution. Well, if you're the one that published the tool call, you could theoretically, be able to inject your logo in there or whatever else it is and somehow make a profit on it. So there's still potentially an attention economy business model there for people that are doing
Mm.
tool calls. And I think I like the flexibility of it because, like I said, for a long time, AI is just harvesting everybody's data, not really attributing it back to people. Well, now you still could possibly make some ad revenue or otherwise have some type of value that you add without just the AI crawling you and then not
Mm.
mentioning you. So
Yeah, what did I see for the couple examples that were out there? It sounded like it was just an iframe connected to AI. Not to minimize this thing, but
Well, so the AI could say, I mean, it's going to be great for payments too, by the way, because the AI, well, you probably won't pay through an iframe quite the same way, but yeah, the AI can go out there and browse, say you're searching for a vacation, and then instead of just kind of reading back to you the text that was on the page from the vacation, it could actually render for you like a slideshow or 3D tour of the place you're trying to rent out. So Airbnb could have it respond with, a slideshow or some type of, UI, or say you're collecting big data, you could render charts in there, and not just hope that the AI renders it correctly, but it'll render the way it was intended to. If you were an e-commerce platform, you could have, the exact filters that your user wants to browse with, right there, that are set to whatever the AI had set it to. But then they can just tweak those filters, and then it would show your results. So, there's a lot of good. I think it's a good feature that's gonna improve model context protocol.
So has anybody actually, so we've been talking about this for what, 8, 10, 12 months now?
Over a year is when I did the presentation at the Ford Fest in Madison.
And I suppose that was about this time last year, wasn't it?
Right after I was coming back from the bicep tear. So,
is anybody doing this stuff right now?
Yes. In e-commerce, I don't know, but like Canva and a lot of like the tools, SaaS type tools that people were using, they are offering this type of connectivity. Yeah.
So you can inject Canva into your QuickBooks for whatever reason.
You could render them both in the same screen. I guess you can inject Canva into your AI, which also could be pulling from your QuickBooks at the same time. I'm not sure if you can inject it into QuickBooks, but you get the idea.
Well, if there was an MCP something connection within an iframe within QuickBooks,
now
probably not a good example.
Now here's another question for you as an entrepreneur. I wonder is anybody creating MCP servers and monetizing them well? That I don't know. If previously you create a SaaS, but now you could just skip the SaaS. I mean, it would still be SaaS under the hood, but you skip the UI and just generate an MCP server people connect to. And I have no idea if anybody's successfully done that. I kind of want to ask. I want to set a research task right now to see.
And see if your AI can find somebody that's doing that. I mean, there's somebody doing a weather server. I wonder if somebody like a statistics site or somebody else like that would be doing it.
Yeah, I think you'd have to already have existing data, or you'd have to have functionality that does something in the real world, moves molecules, prints pages, or something like that, and then you could probably, launch that. We did see when we were looking when I was doing research is that there are wrappers for the paid ads for like Reddit and YouTube and all that stuff, that they've created a wrapper service that's MCP, and they're charging for that. So you can you can give your AI the ability to spin up paid ads, which could be horrible or could be great. I haven't done it yet, but it could just be a great way to waste money.
Yeah, I would hope you have a pretty sturdy sandbox in that experiment.
Yeah. So,
because I can imagine you could burn a lot of money throwing a wide net at Reddit.
You could burn it on tokens, and you could burn it on ads, buying eyes. Absolutely. I mean, I've burnt some without having AI in the mix. I've burnt enough money on paid ads over the years without the ROI I was hoping for. So, yeah.
So UI and MCP, a natural evolution.
A natural evolution, and they have a new version of MCP coming out. I think I've got ratings on that coming out next week or something. But yeah, they're changing the authentication model, but none of that stuff is as exciting as kind of how this one played out. So, but basically, if you have a company and you want to inject your user interface or screen from your website or web page or widget into your conversation, whenever someone's trying to browse your product, and you want, to show and render the way you want it to, you're going to want to use MCP Apps. And if you need help getting that set up, you know what? It happens to be that we run a business that helps people do that. So, and I guess I do have a this is kind of unrelated, but I'm setting up a bot for a live podcast with, I don't remember their names, but they're a fairly decent sized audience. And so I will be teaching people how to set up AI agents on AWS using AWS Agent Core in a podcast soon to come. And I'll post a link to my following. So if you want to hear about that, go check out the website and subscribe. So
this can be a live demo. So you're going to either burn or succeed on real time.
pretty much. With
Bravo.
that said, I'm going to course practice ahead of time and make sure I have a solid plan B for if anything breaks. But
I appreciate your optimism if anything breaks, because live demos have a way of doing that to people.
yeah, well, again, I'll for that one, I'll probably have a working version set up, and then I'll spin up a new version with them. And then if that new version doesn't spin up, but I'll use Terraform and all that stuff, so it should be pretty copy paste. Once I'm done, I'll get the Terraform scripts all ready. And so yeah, should be pretty good to go. But yeah, that's live. That'll be fun. It'll be exciting.
Well, yeah, not live stream, but live recorded. Absolutely right.
I think it's a live audience, actually.
Bravo.
So yeah, I don't have links for them promoting it yet, but I'm pretty sure that's actually with a live audience at that point. So we'll find out though. With that said, yeah, that's MCP Apps. I think, I mean, I'll a lot of people are saying slap a chat widget in your website and all this stuff. And I think MCP and this tool is actually going to be much more valuable to businesses than just slapping a chat widget in. So definitely before you go and implement any of this stuff, of course, figure out what your ROI is going to be, or at least have some ballpark calculation. Don't just go slapping chatbots and everything, which is everybody's just duct taping chatbots to their websites. But if you want to have a deeper integration, RAG, memory, all sorts of, tighter integrations with your website, then I'd love to help you with it. So with that said, Dom, you got anything else?
It's been a Tuesday.
All right. I'm Matt with Schematical. Have a great day.
See y'all.